What it do? Starchy. I'm making this recording after the fact that I already recorded this next part that I'm releasing because I recently had a blow up, let's call it that, with my father, who him and I already have a very interesting relationship. And I withheld uploading this because it was his birthday on the day that I was supposed to upload it. And I withdrew from posting it because I didn't mean to offend him with my truth, with the things that I feel like can't get nobody to talk about except me and the goddamn internet, right? So, despite holding that back, what ended up happening was I got on the phone with him and he's just more at him, and it tipped me over because I've been going through a lot right now. It tipped me over, and I started saying things that, I really wish I didn't say, but hey, I said it, and I felt the release that it provided, but not in the way that I wanted it to. And I even mentioned some of the things that this next video will explain, could have explained. So, anyway, I'm recording this after the fact, and I am appending it to the beginning of this video because I wanted to say that all of what I made the mistake of lashing out would have been released by me uploading this video. And I kept myself from that. I kept myself from the way that I know how to, shave off the energy because I was afraid of what somebody else might have thought. Um, you know, so like I want this to be a piece of a blessing of wisdom to somebody who comes across this. And I mean, you know, trust your heart. If you already know why you've started a new practice because it's the healthy way of, if you go into the gym now at 8, 9 o'clock, because that's when you would typically go to the McDonald's to get the snacks, but now you're dealing with somebody who, like, oh, they want you to be over theirs at 8, 9 o'clock, or they want you to come do their thing at 8, 9 o'clock, or like you just stop doing that because they don't go to the gym and they feel offended that you go to the gym at 8, 9 o'clock when they're at home on the couch. Don't stop the practice because you'll find yourself once you're out the loop again. It's all fluid dynamics, right? So once you find yourself out of the current, meaning out of the thing that you're currently doing consistently, you're going to find yourself back in one of them old currents quickly. All right, so if you found a new current that is actually increasing your positive experiences in life, stick with that. Just stick with that. That's all I'm gonna say. I hope that this was valuable. Yeah, look, let me not bore you. Just go watch the clip, and maybe I'll leave something at the end of it if I got more to say.
You should have let me die. You sang your life into me. Would that you had remained instead?
I had my time. I completed my work. You. You were my vision, my son.
I have failed.
And you must start again. You must go back the way you came.
What does that mean?
That is for you to discover. It is a father's right to give his son his first shave. That right was stolen from me by the one you fear most.
Morgan.
And yet, a swift, sure hand has given us this moment to make right that loss.
to pause on this because for me, it actually stops here. So it's interesting that they threw this in for Daniel's synchronicity. I realized I had the volume kind of low. I hope that the audio came through clear. I'm probably not going to record it again because, again, if this message wasn't received by you, this message wasn't for you, okay? I only needed to watch this scene the one time. Mind you, when this scene came on, they had been showing me Merlin. Like, I'm not going to go through the whole episode, but the whole episode, you see him looking like this. And he went this way because, again, Morgan, the dark feminine, killed his lover, sent him mad, hence the mad Merlin. Okay? The dark feminine energy traumatized him, much like the dark feminine energy traumatized his father, Taliesin, at birth. But he was a grown man when it happened. He was damn near 700 years old when it happened. And yet he still wasn't able to wash it off. Yet he still wasn't able to shave it off, shake it off. And in a vision by the pond, he sees his dead father. And his father only has one message of wisdom. You must go back the way you came. Look at his face and you tell me what you think that means. Look at his baby face and you tell me what you think that means. I just gave you the answer. Look at his baby face and you tell me what you think that means. A man's only capability in this world, only capability is to put the blade to themselves. A man's only capability in this world is to take the blade to themselves and wash up and clean up and keep it moving. That's the only thing you've got is you and the blade. Sharpen yourself up. Now, I'm speaking like I knew this. Right? I'm speaking like I knew this. But here goes the thing. My whole life I had been him. Up until I watched this show. Up until I started thinking about stuff like this. And I'll be honest with you, this show didn't exist. I knew of Merlin, the old man wizard, and I always thought that Gandalf and them was just like off rip, the ones from the jump. That's what they teach you, right? Is that like you just have the gift. And if you don't got the gift, you don't got the gift. And then you just whatever, you just regular. No. Gandalf didn't just have the gift, he had to learn it through hardship. He saw hard battles, and that's why he landed where he was, who he became. Merlin saw hard battles, and that's why he landed and became who he became. That's why his father was who he is. But my whole life, I had been this. So when this scene showed up, when I saw him standing by the water, looking as scruzzly as he did, and his father was clean and pristine like this, I said, there is only one thing homeboy is about to do for his son. There is only one way that these writers are going to end this. No. Not the writers. There is only one way that reality is going to collapse this scene for me. And that is that he is going to shave his son. He is going to teach his son how to wash the sins away. He's going to teach him how to do it. He's not only going to baptize him, he is going to teach him how to baptize himself from this day forward. From this day forward, he is going to bestow to his son the one sword, the sword that never rusts. The sword of all swords is the sword that never rusts. Guys, there is no mythical sword. There is no alien whatever. There's no alien genetics. There's no alien material. There is no adamantium except the man in you. That sword rusts when you let it rust. Hint, hint. That sword rusts when you let it rust. Hint, hint. So I literally said to myself, man, he finna shave him. And then he starts shaving him. And I said, God, or whatever the thing that's speaking these things, the thing that when you read the billboard it goes, that's a message to me, isn't it? Whatever that is, whatever you call it. I don't really call it God. I call it, I call it space. I call it not space in like the little physical manner, but in the, hold on. I had a dream last night and then I wake up and now I'm living that dream. I am in the bubble of the bubble. I speak to the bigger bubble, all right? That's all I'm trying to say is I speak to the bigger bubble and the bigger bubble speak back to me. And that's what the bigger bubble has shown me. I think I had also already bought my, I bought a straight razor because again, it had dawned on me that I was running from the image that my father bestowed upon me. And I'm gonna put y'all into the truth. Look, my family's so interesting. They probably gonna look at this and go, Daniel, you putting too much of your business out here. Look, I'm living in my truth because can't no evil cross me when I'm in my mode. Can no evil cross me when I'm in my mode. So I'm going into my mode and I'm gonna show y'all what it is because can no evil cross me if I'm living in my truth. I bought this straight razor to start bringing back the stash that I had. It was the first image of my father. It was the first thing everybody told me about it. Everybody would see. He had this strikingly thick mustache. And when he would get ready to go to work, that thing would be cleaned up, boy. I would see him with the thing. He had the thing like this. And one day, that went away. One day from my father, he said, I ain't gonna do this no more. And he kept shaving it off. And then he would have this scrubs, and then he wasn't really looking like himself. And then the weight started changing, and the look started changing, and the way he was, and then the back started hurting, and all these different types of things. And I was like, you letting it get to you now, huh? You letting it get to you. You throwing a sword down, huh? Your sword's starting to rust, huh? Well, long as I can peep. But let me share you this too, because this is the real God's honest truth. He never taught me how to shave. He left the house right at the point when I needed to start shaving. I was right around 15, 16. And our relationship went sour. But, I mean, he had been hitting me and doing a whole bunch of nonsense, whole bunch of traumatizing stuff since I was 5. So, I mean, my perception of the masculine was, so caught up. So, beaten. And he would put that on my mom. He would put that on his mom to say they destroyed the image. But it's like, he just told you right here. You've got to maintain that. You've got to do that. The whole point is that Merlin says, Morgan took you away from me. He said, no, my mission was fulfilled. My mission was to do exactly this so that I could teach you, because he had already had this gift within him. Remember? He was born into trauma and he healed that. And that's the thing that some of these kings don't understand, is that your initial, I'm losing my train of thought. I'm getting so emotional right now, y'all. I'm getting so emotional now because this is the beginning and the end game if you're a man. This is the beginning and end game. For the queens, look, there's some messages in here for y'all too, but I'm going to let y'all break this down how y'all want to break it down. For the kings, this is the beginning and end message for y'all. He found content in all of the hardship because he knows, I know my path. And he knows in the future, he's in the astral too, and he's like, look, I could shave off whatever. So I'm experience whatever I want to experience. I'm going to cut through this. Go back the way you came. You never die if you can multiply, if you can implode, which is actually what the next couple videos will be on, which is how physics, modern day physics, is already speaking to this as to what the quantum this and the da-da-da-da-da that. Every symbol around you in your reality field is trying to get this message across to you kings right now. But if you go back into yourself and start reading the stories of your life. If you've got superhero characters, supervillain characters that you know and love, they're all telling this same story to you. How to shave. Breaking Bad was what? A man who, through all his hardships, couldn't shake the inevitable fact that he was gonna die and that he was wronged by the people that he was worked for. Did he do it the right way? Did he shave himself off correctly? Or did he go blowing people up on some ish, yelling at his wife on some ish, letting women and children die on some ish because he turned to the dark? He was like, it's all messed up. I'm going to just do what I can. I'm going to enjoy what I can while I'm here. That ain't the way. That's the way for some, but that ain't the way to the most high. That ain't the way back home. That ain't the way back home, Spider-Man, okay? If you with them, Batman done lost his folks. What does he do? Embraces his fear of the dark and becomes the Batman. Okay, so look, I'm very dramatic, but you have to be. You have to be. Because you're a bard, G. You're a bard. You're gonna sing the stories how you sing the stories. And it don't matter what story that you sing it loud and sing it proud, okay? Because the more you make your heart vibe, the more you vibrate with the energy, the more you can raise your frequency to the point where you are humming and the earth is humming with you. Now you're storytelling. But you're not just telling your story, you're telling Earth's story. You're telling the universe's story. You're telling all stories. Because it's all water, baby. It's fluid dynamics. All right. Maybe the video ends here. Maybe I go back to the slides. I don't really know yet. I'm piecing this together as I go because, again, if you didn't catch this message wasn't for y'all. This message wasn't for you. All right? I know my truth. I know what I mean. I know the game that I'm playing. This was all that I would need if I wasn't somebody who came up on this show to go and pick up the messages and the downloads that I needed to get. If you can't do this, you're not dreaming properly, all right? But look, I ain't gonna hold you like you can't. That's why I'm here now. That's why I'm up, because I'm with them. I'm out here. I'm in this. I'm moving like this. So I want to show you how you can too, because if you can hear me, you water. So let me show you what to do.